Hi everybody, I hope you had a Merry Christmas. It has been so cold here. I'm sure that Santa could have landed on our roof with no problem. We even had 7 degrees one morning, and my studio is not heated, so it was very difficult to come out here and work. And I don't like to take things like this in the house to work on because I want to separate the clay dust, keep it all out here if I can. I looked at the nesting bowl. That was the last thing that I did a video on, and it has gotten quite dry. So I sprayed it down and covered it back up with plastic, but I've decided to sort of take a left turn here. I'm going to treat that bowl as a one-off and then start over when the weather gets better. If I have a couple of days where the weather is as nice as it is today, it's supposed to get up to 60 out here today. And so I'm going to start over on the nesting bowls, but I want to show you this because this is a finished one of what I plan to do on the one nesting bowl that we made before. I threw this foot ring, this whole part from here up, I threw this separately on this bowl. And I didn't intend to from the beginning, but I got the bowl too thin on the bottom as I was throwing it, and then when I trimmed it, I really didn't have enough clay left to do any kind of a decent foot ring. So I just thought, well, I will just throw one on the bottom of this bowl and it'll be good. Actually, I like it better than a carved trimmed foot ring. But here it is, and this is what we're going to do with that one large, the number 1 bowl from the nesting set, or the nesting set that was going to be. So I'll be back in a few minutes with the other bowl, and I'll show you what we're going to do with it. Thanks. Okay, so here we are. I threw this, and this is just a ring, and I'm trying to decide whether I want to put a blob of clay on the bottom of the bowl or throw a ring like this without a bottom on it and just cut it off this and then attach it to the bottom of that, and then maybe adjust the edge of it a little bit. So I went ahead and threw this. I'm going to keep it fairly wet until I can get the bowl off the bat over there, and so we'll decide when I get the bowl on the wheel whether or not we'll just attach this or throw a blob of clay on there. So I'm going to take this off and trim up the bottom, and I'll take you with me when I go to the other wheel. Oh, well, I won't have to do a whole lot of trimming, would I? But I think I'd like to have a little more curve just right in here. So I'm going to make this a little more narrow, and I'll just set this aside while we do that. So I'm going to put this on the wheel, and I'll be right back. You don't want to get this too tight, especially on that delicate edge of a bowl. So it does need to be snug, and it needs to not be able to turn within that. Okay, let me make sure you can still see. Okay. guess I better feel how thick that is on the bottom, because not very. It's thicker right here than it is anyplace else. But the very bottom right here isn't very thick. So I think I probably would have gotten a decent foot ring out of it, but it is way too dry to do that with at this point without soaking the bowl and possibly ruining it. So I'm looking at the profile, that is the edge that shows you the negative space there. I'll just sharpen this tool. Woo! Ran into a little rock right there. But, so it's nice and sharp. There's a little rock or something right there. Ooh, I like that curve. Might be able to get more out of it here. This bowl might become a mate to that other one that I showed you at the beginning of the video. That might just work out that way. Okay, so let's try that little ring and see what it looks like. Here, looks like I need to burnish that a little bit. Okay. Well, I think I'll try this, and I've never done it this way. I have done it where I just put a blob on there and throw it like I knew what I was doing. Let me burnish this a little bit, and then let's see. The thing about throwing things and doing stuff on a gift grip is that I can't put my arms on it. I can't rest my elbows on it like I can, you know, the edge of the splash pan on the other wheel, or on this one when it doesn't have the gift grip on it. So I just want to get that nice and pretty. So I'm going to scratch it where the ring, here's what the ring looks like on the bottom. So I'm going to be scratching this up, and this is pretty wet. This is not nearly as wet. That to be nice and rough. This is my little sponge from my bucket. I'll just put some there too. Then I'm going to also apply some to this. Not a whole lot, it doesn't really need it. Okay, better stop this to do that. So you wet and wiggle. Wet and set. Wet and set it. Okay. Let me get this thing out of there. Who knows? This may never see the light of day. And I'm just gently pressing down on this from the inside too. Not even at all. There, perfect. You can take clay away, but you can't put it back sometimes. Okay. I think I'm going to alter this even further, and I promised I'd bring you in on this when I trimmed it. I would like for there to be more of a dip in the profile right here, and I want something else to be around here. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'll throw a ring that's going to fit right around this area. You see, where is that other bowl? Let's see. Here it is. You see, I rather like how this bowl has this business that is wider than this. It doesn't just go straight down and cut off right there. I kind of like how that's bigger. And so I'm going to try to accomplish that. So with that, I'm going to take this off. There. Now, so I've taken it off of the other bat, and I'm just going to, oh dear, it's way too big. I stretched it as I was taking it off. Okay, we've got a fix for that. I'll be treating it more or less like a coil. And when I get over here, I'll overlap it. It was way too big anyway, wasn't it? And then I'll cut it on a diagonal to sort of ease the, see, I cut this on a diagonal so it would sort of ease itself together. I need to clean that up just a bit. I can't do it on that side. I'll show it to you, but there. Okay. There we go. So here's the little join right here. So I just wanted to put it on a diagonal. It'll be much easier to smooth it out that way. Okay, so it was all nice and juicy. So now I'm just gonna basically throw it. Let me compress it just a little bit just to get it mushed in. You can hear that little popping. That was the sound of that join, getting rid of little air pockets that it probably had in there. So I'm gonna cut off that much of it. Oh, I can see some other little air bubbles too. And sort of came in the back door on this one, didn't we? Okay, now this is looking more in the shape that I wanted it to be, so we're getting closer. I have a little bit of wobble in this bowl, and I think it's because the rim that's on the bat down here is a little bit uneven. causing the other end to wiggly wobble, but I'm not going to worry about it. If I can, I'm just going to go with it, you know, and throw it. Let's see. And now it looks more like the other one. Maybe they will be a set and go home and live happily ever after in the same house with somebody who will just love them forever